Now the On Your Side forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval.
So yesterday we had some smoke that had cleared, then we had more smoke later in the day. Today was an interesting day, and the view from the village at Meridian really shows the dynamic of what was going on during the day. Here it is early in the morning. We'll go through the day, and you notice the foothills just basically disappearing here through a good portion of the morning, but then all of a sudden they'll reappear. There they are. And then through the afternoon and evening, visibility getting about as clear as it's been in the Treasure Valley for some time. Lots of blue skies going on. And tonight at the village, with all the specials going on, a lot of folks enjoying themselves outside here tonight. And the air is breathing. We're breathing it a little bit cleaner, but many parts of the state, especially up north, again, just dealing with so much smoke. But I do expect a break, and here's what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at the QPF, the Quantitative Precipitation Forecast. This is sent out by the Weather Service here. It shows the entire week, places that will get precipitation over the next week. And you look at the northwest and look at this bullseye, at least two systems coming into the north and west, and that will be over some of the fires. Now, many of the fires are in eastern Washington, but there are some in western Washington and northern California. You see, northern Idaho could be under the gun for a little bit of moisture around as well. We can only hope, because we could really use the moisture, even a quarter-inch of rain, and the cool temperatures and the higher humidity that accompanies that is really going to help firefighters hopefully start getting a gain on some things. But you don't put fires out just by getting some rain like this. You've got a lot of efforts from these brave heroes out there fighting these fires, and there are lots of them all over the place. But you notice the rain here will go in. There's big fires right in here. Hopefully they will get hit with some of this rain and the cooler temperatures. If this system goes a little bit further south and maybe a little bit further inland, that would be great. You'd get more fires. But there are fires in eastern Washington. Still will get some rain. It's the ones in Oregon here may end up staying dry. But again, everybody is going to be cooling down. That is really good forecast, and that may end up being a weather pattern for a while to keep cool weather across the northwest, which would really help, because if it got hot and dry again in the Portland area and up north into central Washington, that would be real bad news, but I don't see that right now. 87 in McCall, a little hazy, but not bad outside. Stanley, Sun Valley, not looking bad. Stanley today, 87 for the high temperature, real warm. Still August, September not far away, but boy, we're getting some midsummer-like heat, although it's 67 in Stanley right now, 80s in the Treasure Valley as we speak. Generally dry conditions, just a little cloud cover moving in from the south and west, high clouds mostly, but you look down to the south of the Magic Valley here, and this moisture is moving on up, and this is tropical moisture that might clip the eastern Magic Valley tomorrow. And what that could do is create a couple of storms in the eastern part of the valley there, Magic Valley, with cooler temperatures. But the last 2 nights, I've been seeing computer charts saying that wind will come out of these storms and shoot all the way into the Treasure Valley. So we have a chance tomorrow of not getting storms, but getting some gusty wind coming in from the east and southeast. It's something that I'll keep an eye on, because it will likely have blowing dust with it as well. So here's all the hot weather and the smoke and the dry conditions. Tropical moisture, that western edge will approach the Magic Valley but stay mostly to the east. Here's that cool weather that's just circulating, but will eventually come right on in and sweep some of that moisture into the Pacific Northwest, dropping temperatures and bringing in some of that rainfall. So here's Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night around this time, that chance for thunderstorms between Stanley and Sun Valley tomorrow evening, while to the west there's some cloud cover. Let's hope we can keep the dry lightning away. On Thursday, a chance for a couple of storms developing, but I think we're likely to see a lot more sunshine around. There's the prevailing wind, the steering winds of the smoke from that northern California smoke following that arrow right there. And again, drink plenty of water and stay around the air conditioning, which tends to clean out that smoke. If you want to also stay away from the heat too. Temperatures 97 in Boise, 96 in Meridian, and Cunit 98 tomorrow. It is going to be a hot one. Hazy again. Hopefully we can get some clearing in the smoke like we did today. 97 in Garden Valley as well, and some smoke in Long Valley with temperatures in the 80s. Again, Riggins at 96 degrees. That teepee fire, by the way, is 8 miles southeast of Riggins. It's not that far away. 84 in Stanley and 81 degrees in Sun Valley tomorrow. And watch out for some late-day storms popping up in those east central mountains. Keeping with the heat through Friday, and then we start to see that cool down, that advance of that moisture moving on in, and see temperatures primarily dropping into the lower 80s by Monday and Tuesday. Won't that be nice? And in the mountains, dropping into the 70s. Some great news there. My On Your Side YMC Mechanical weather picture of the day. This is a great shot taken about a week and a half ago. Payette Lake. Beautiful shot by Dave Eichmann there. You can send your photos into I Contribute at KIVITV.com. And what a picture tonight.
So nice.
It was. I remember what you said earlier. I hope September's not like this. You said earlier, and so I felt there was more promise when we could actually see the sky tonight in the Treasure Valley.
I just love September.
I know
it may be my favorite month of the year.
Great
here.
time of year. Let's hope we get rid of these fires.
That's what we need to do.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
So a stretch of ocean floor off the Florida coast is littered with old tires and steel.
And all that junk is there because of a plan put together by people trying to protect the environment. That plan didn't work. Fox News correspondent Phil Keating explains.
Tires and tires as far as the diver can see. 1 to 2 million of them. A barren underwater landscape that's just ghostly.
Everybody says the same thing when they first dive it. It's spooky.
Rocco Galetta's dive crew is now hoisting up the old tires, 30 at a time, paid for by the state of Florida. It's a 2-year, nearly $2 million job to make right a horrible wrong. Back in 1972, Fort Lauderdale environmentalists got permits to dump the used tires a mile offshore to create an artificial reef great for coral and fish.
Seemed like a good idea at the time. You know, looked good on paper.
But it turns out the coral never came, nor the schools of fish, and the tons of rubber ended up battering the healthy reef nearby.
The tires are a problem because they're moving into the pristine reef areas, doing damage to the reef. And the tires are harboring very little marine growth.
Shredding and recycling tires today is a booming business for bouncy playgrounds and artificial football and soccer fields. But back in the 70s, tire recycling didn't exist. The only options were landfills, which is what this good intention became, a used tire landfill under the sea.
There's a lot of finger pointing as to who's responsible and who should be taking care of it, but you know, we're not trying to pay a whole lot of attention to that and just try to move forward as best we can.
Once back on land, these tires will be burned at a power plant incinerator to produce green energy. So 4 long decades later, these old tires finally will do some environmental good. Off Fort Lauderdale Beach, Phil Keating, Fox News.
Who knew?
Coming up next, great story there. The rocky state of affairs between the U.S. and Russia takes another turn with the help of a state-of-the-art American fighter jet. We'll explain when Fox 9 on Your Side returns.